before coming to Patagonia, I thought it would mostly be pampa and there wouldn't be any large trees because the wind would be too strong and knock them over. I also thought that the winds would be constant, but it seems like there's some breaks in the wind, and I thought there would be a lot more snow even in summer, like covering the mountains, but since we're at such a low altitude, I think that's why. Yeah. Before I came to Patagonia, I thought everything was covered in ice and full of snow, and then I got here and it was all pampa, which I learned is grassland, so that was a little bit surprising. But other than that, I kind of went in with no expectation, and everything's been great.
Before coming to Patagonia, I thought that it was going to be a lot more mountainous and have a lot more trees. And I also thought that the biodiversity would be higher than what it actually is. Yeah, and I think that changed just based on the classes that we had and knowing the history of the past of this region, and that there's always been like not a lack of biodiversity, but just lower amounts of biodiversity as other places because of the climate that's here. And I didn't know what pampas were before coming here, so that has changed my perspective on Patagonia.
Okay, so when I first came to Patagonia, I feel like, my expectations were that, like, I don't know, that it was gonna be a lot colder than it is. I don't know, I feel like it's pretty warm. I thought I was gonna have to break out my winter coat a lot earlier, and to be clear, it's only been 1 month. But yeah, I really expected it to be a lot colder, and I was surprised about how windy it was. But I guess now that I've been here and like I know that like obviously that there like aren't other land masses, like it really physically makes a lot of sense that it is windy. But I didn't expect it to be so windy. I guess I just expected more biodiversity. Like it's like there's like 7 trees that are native, obviously, but I don't know what I really expected, but I guess I just didn't know a lot about what native species would look like, or not what they would look like, but like numbers wise what that would look like here, and I guess I expected more. But I've learned since then, so thanks, Shaw.
I was surprised by how close to the equator we are, or obviously we're not close, but I thought it was going to be like more of a polar environment, so I thought it was going to be really cold and windy right off the bat. I also was surprised by how many forests there are, because I thought it was going to be mostly like shrubs and grasslands, but there's actually a lot of trees and animals. I also didn't know there was going to be flamingos, so that was a nice surprise. And then for the city itself, I thought it was going to be a lot more touristy than it is. Obviously, like the whole infrastructure is built up around tourism, but there's still like a huge local culture here, which I was surprised by.